All right, here we are. Welcome, friendos. Matt says this is definitely the best aquatic themed live stream on Monday night based in Washington, hosted by somebody named Bob. Whew, that's quite the criteria. You may notice I'm still using the poor mics. That's just the way it is, so we're going to deal with it for at least another week or two. But hopefully it doesn't cut out that much and we have some good luck. These streams have become very helpful for my workflow. Thank you, Mons and Bob. How's everyone doing? Aquarium Co-op says, let's get this party started. I've got the convention crud. What the heck is going on down here? Snailed it. Mystery Snail Gardens. I was going to have your mug that I got from you. I'm going to plan it and put it back here. And just haven't got to it yet. So good to see you. It's good to see you again this weekend. And everyone else I got to see again. And all the new people I met. It was a lot of fun at Fishtoberfest. Brought home some goodies. Some rare Anubias. Some blue bolt shrimp. Some crypt rose and maiden. A rare species of Rotala that is purple, which is pretty awesome. And now that I'm using CO2 again and back to high tech, it should stay purple, so that's cool. What else did I get? I didn't get any fish. And then just some various art. Hopefully I'll have up for next week. I do have my windows open, so it's really bright in here, so this wall is really washed out. Just the way it is. Danikin Aquatics, what's going on, my friend? It was good to see you again. Please, let's all remember to hit the like button. That is true. Ginger, thank you very much. Going back to moving Rainbow Fry. Rocky and Miles, hello. And Regina Phalanges coming in, as always. We'll give it a few minutes for people to roll in. And then we'll just start answering questions. I'm going to get this one right now. Melissa Turner says, can exclamation point rasboras and CPDs interbreed? Negative. Says, I have babies in my community tank that only has these two species in it. So they are from a different genus, so I believe that means that they will not interbreed. That would be a weird one, but exclamation point rasboras are from the genus Boras, B-O-R-A-S, I believe, if I remember correctly, and CPDs are not. So you should be okay. It's probably the exclamation point rasboras. But realistically, it could be the fry could be either of the two, as long as they're both happy. Oh yes, Danikin Aquatics. I did get crabs as well. Did you ever come steal the Aquarium Co-op light to test yet? I did not. I still need that air pump too. Not yet. Not yet. Last week was insanely busy. I had three doctor's appointments, and so much to do to get ready for the weekend. As soon as I switched from going to Fishtoberfest as just an attendee to a vendor, my whole week was then slammed getting ready for it. So I'll probably break in time this week and get that light. And I'm also probably going to be redoing the entire tank. So I was kind of back and forth. So what it is, I have a 125 gallon tank that I put CO2 on in highlight, but the tank is about 5 or 6 years old. So the substrate is really old, and I was like, I don't want to change out the substrate, so we'll see how it works out. And I think I'm going to have to end up changing out the substrate. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to pull everything back out, which, I mean, that's the worst thing. That's not bad at all. Whoa, Bob got crabs at Fishtoberfest. I did. I totally forgot. And don't ask me what kind they are. I don't remember at all. They are the ones that Haley brought last year. And Danny and Kenny have been breeding. And I brought home a pair of them. I brought them home last year too, but my Doberman ate them. So now dogs have their own home and are not in my fish room anymore. I think I'm safe to try them again. So I'll be setting up a tank for them this week, and I think that's I think that's it for for livestock, and then just some various knickknacks, But yes, I did get crabs. Am I going to make a palette for them, or are they fully aquatic crabs? So they are not fully aquatic. I will be making a paludarium, vivarium, terrarium, whichever you want to say. And dwarf Mexican crabs, no. I was kind of hoping Danikin would chime in with their exact name. Oh, and he did. Look at that. Perfect. They are Halloween vampire crabs. There you go. And I had 2 species last year. This time I'm just going to go with the one and see how they do. They were fine last year until until my dogs ate them. Jamie McDonald with the $2 super chat says 32 days before I turn 4. He's going to be the first 4-year member on my channel, which is insane. Thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate it. Jamie is the director of the channel. So $10 Matt super chat from Matt Gray. Thank you so much. It says for crabs. Yes. I do need some medication. Can you explain old tank syndrome? Is that what you need to change out the substrate? No, my substrate is just dirty, and I don't like dirty substrate. Now, what do I mean by dirty substrate? That means it's got 6 years of mulm, 6 years of decaying plant matter, and yes, you could gravel vac, but you can't really gravel vac planted aquariums, like fully planted aquariums. The Eco Complete is obviously inert by now. So just wanting to change it out. I also need to get some type of buffering substrate for my water here, because it is kind of soft. So just swapping it out is going to be the way to go. Spooktober crabs. Spooktober. But before we get too far along, we got to do it. You know what we got to do? We got to talk about the fish of the week. And the fish of the week this week, pygmy hatchetfish. Pygmy hatchetfish. So, if you don't know about hatchetfish, they pretty much just cruise around on the surface of the water. They're pretty awesome. And this is just the pygmy version. I did see like the humongous version, like 4-inch hatchetfish at Anakin's house, which was pretty crazy. These in comparison are about a 1/2 inch. They max out at 1 inch, like max. So realistically, about 3/4 of an inch for a full-grown adult. These are actually cool because they have the collection point there as well. The Rio Momon, I almost said Mormon, Momon. Now, care for these guys, you're gonna want them about 76, 78, 80 at the highest, probably 74 at the lowest. pH pretty neutral, around 7. These are more carnivorous, and the really cool thing you can do with these is you can head down to your local reptile store and get yourself some wingless fruit flies and then scatter them along the surface and watch these guys go crazy. It is so fun to watch pygmy hatchetfish eating fruit flies off the surface of the water. It's crazy. Now, since they do hang out at the surface, they just pretty much float on the surface, right? They don't like a lot of surface agitation, so keep that in mind. They like to just float around. So if you have like power heads and things like that pointed to the surface, they're not going to appreciate that, especially the smaller ones like the pygmies. And the nice thing is they're cheap enough that we can get a pretty large school of them. They are a schooling fish, so keep that in mind as well. But there you go, pretty awesome little pygmy hatchetfish. If you're looking for a top dweller for like 20-gallon aquarium, get yourself a school of these. 10-gallon, probably wouldn't go smaller than 10-gallon, but there they are. Get them and use that pinned link in the comment while you're at it. And thanks everyone who's been using that link. I appreciate it a lot. And we're back. There you go. Pygmy hatchetfish. Go get some. I'll be sure to add them to my list of species to keep. Do you find they work best with species-only tank, or they tolerate tank mates in a large tank? Oh, you're talking to Danikin, so you must be talking about the crabs. Do you know of any, Colin says, do you know of any silicone that is brown or light tan color that is safe for aquariums? Actually, I do not. I've never come across brown or tan silicone before. And real quick, Curtis Schindler with the $1 super chat, thank you so much. And Ginger Grumble says, if I send a clear picture of Corydoras, could you try and help me ID them since I found 5 new babies? I could 100% ID them for you. I am the Corydoras king around these parts. And whenever someone has a question about Corydoras, they come to the answer man right here. We only keep them by themselves. I bet you could keep them with fish, and I will test that theory with white clouds. Because honestly, if they pick off a white cloud, I got a billion more. So, or guppies. I have a ton of guppies that I could try them with. But in my experience, they do tolerate fish. I did have them with fish previously and didn't really have any issues. They don't tolerate dogs. That's the one thing. Yes, Dedicated Aquatics says don't keep them with dogs. I've never had one of my dogs reach into any of my tanks before. But my Doberman, for whatever reason, picked every single one of them out of the tank and just chomped on them. I went to my fish room last year and saw like crab legs and shells on the floor. And it was very interesting. Have I got pandas? Why, I oughta. Are stir-bite Corydoras the only species good for warm water tanks like discus or ram tanks? Branded guy, Corydoras are the only Corydoras that... Corydoras are the only Corydoras. Stir-bites are the only Corydoras that I've kept in warm water. I'm sure there's more. I would say any of your more common species are going to tolerate warm water to a certain point. Anything like 85 and above, I think you're going to run into oxygen problems, even with like all kinds of air stones. Her209 says, I have silver hatchetfish and they fill the top level nicely. They're really good fish. Like, obviously you're going to want a tight-fitting lid because they'll shoot right out. But crab legs now, I'm hungry. A lady says, yeah, not doggy friendly. I would totally keep them out of harm's way from the dogs and the cats. Well, I'm hoping I can breed them. If I do breed them, they will be on my site for sale. So I only have one pair, so it might take a while. I have a couple dozen at a time when they spawn, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to set up an aquarium and just for them and film it, so you all will see it here eventually. Hi, Carrie. How's Uncle Shella? They breed like rabbits. Steenfott Aquatics. Hey, I made it. Have you heard of the meds Nox-ic? N-O-X-ic? Used and made it a review because there's no other full reviews. I have never used it. Let me double check though. I'm gonna Google it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this one I've never even seen this one, let alone used it. Honestly, my favorite thing for ick is just salt. Regular old salt and raising the temperature up to about 80. I recently got some black Madeca rice that ended up getting ick, and I just put a heater in there, 82 degrees, salt, and they're fine. I want to order some peacock and haps from Imperial Tropicals. Do you think I need to quarantine them? I think it's always a good idea to quarantine, no matter who you get them from. Aquarium Club says, I haven't tested Nox-ic, but it's the same manufacturer of Wonder Shells. You know who else makes Wonder Shells is Danny from Dedicated Aquatics. She gave me a bag of her homemade Wonder Shells in the shape of hearts. It was so sweet. Legion Aquatics says members for 5 months. He's been a member for 5 months just on gifted memberships. That's it. I don't know how he always wins them, but he always wins them. Thanks everyone for all the gifted membership. That's crazy. 5 months of free memberships. You are getting your money's worth. Video cutting, not audio. Well, I would rather have the video cut than audio because at least then that still plays back. It is, for some reason, really windy here. I don't know if I'm having like power surges or not, but we'll work through it. Gabriel's Glass Boxes, what's going on? Says, I have Cories with my cichlids and it's a peaceful glass box. Corridors work well with most all cichlids. Even Rift Lake cichlids, corridors can do well. That's the advantage of being an armored catfish, right? I'll start gifting him memberships after I get back from Brazil. Hi, Corey. It was really great to see you doing your thing at Aquashella. Wonderful as always. Keep it. You weren't even at Aquashella. How did you? You don't get to say that, Zenny, until you go and see it in real life. You have no excuse. You live in the state where they put on the show. I don't care how big the state is. You have no excuse. You should have went this year, especially because I went this year. Ay, ay, ay. Corodulin Works says, I feel like a semi-aquatic, like 55-gallon lowboy coffee table tank would be such a cool way to display crabs like that. I'm not a fan of the lowboy tank anymore. I've tried it many different ways and just, I don't like it. But I do agree. I have a 33-gallon long, which is just 12 by 12 by 4 feet. Maybe 10 by 12 or 12. I think it's 12 by 12 by 4 feet. And once I get a good colony of them, I'm going to put them in that. But I think for now, since I only have a pair, I'm just going to do a 10-gallon tank. Especially if they have, what are frog babies called? Do crab babies have a name? Are they crabbies? If they have crabbies, I want to be able to like see them and keep track of them, which would be a lot easier in a 10-gallon tank versus a 4-foot tank. But like I said, once I have a good colony of them going, then I'm going to transfer them to the 4-foot. And it might even be in here, like in the background. Maybe back here. I don't know. Still kind of iffy on if I want to put tanks back here just because of the glare. The crabs would scale that 50 lowboy like Marines in boot camp. Yeah, they are escape artists too, so you have to really be careful. Like if you have heater cords coming out of the tank, you gotta really batten down the hatches or they will climb out. I have a male placat betta who's a bit thin and lost color. Could it be parasites? I use Fritz Paracleanse. Okay with a mono shrimp. Thanks. Use Paracleanse with all kinds of shrimps without issues. That's just me though. I'm not saying like 100% it's okay. And could it be a parasite? I mean, it could be. It would be almost impossible to diagnose over the internet, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, it could just be old age, or it could be parasites. It could be internal, external. Who knows? Greetings from Venezuela. I have 2 aquariums. Love the community types. Awesome. From Venezuela. I think it's been a while since I've had someone from Venezuela. Enigma Remixes. Welcome. Legion Aquatics says, I'm going to my first local aquarium club meeting tomorrow. I think Seattle has a club meeting tomorrow or Tuesday. Maybe both days. I'm not sure. I will be going to 5 different... Wait. Ginger says, I will be going to 5 cities. Oh, okay, you're talking to someone else. And the talk is about rainbows. Legion Aquatics, you should ask about who's giving the talk. Whoever it is, you should ask them about Parkinsoni rainbows and why they're so awesome. The brand has been around since 1947. Instructions were too strong and killed a few tetras. Made a better dosing prescription, hopefully. I'm just honestly not a huge fan of meds right now. I kind of go back and forth, and it's totally just anecdotal. Like, okay, this didn't work, but salt did, so now I'm like all about salt. But next year, maybe the salt won't work, and so then I'll use meds, and then I'll be like, yes, meds, I'm all about meds. So, you know, it's all just my personal experience is what I base my opinion on. Well, just like anyone else, though, really. Whipped World, what's going on, buddy? This has nothing to do with nothing, but for those of you in the Midwest, the moon looks enormous. Last night here in the Pacific Northwest, the moon was huge as well. It was crazy. There were a ton of rainbows at the auction yesterday. Yeah, I didn't stick around for the auction. I had to get. I was jonesing to see my dogs. I'll admit it. I left early. I had to go see my dogs. I was missing them. Fish Tank Barn with a $5 super chat says Crab Fund. Crab Fund. Thank you so much, Mike. Getting my fish tomorrow from Dan's Fish. 6 rainbows and 2 Empire Gudgeons. 6 rainbows and 2 Empire Gudgeons. Let's take a look. Empire Gudgeons. Does he still have those? Anyways, I remember seeing the Empire Gudgeons, and they are awesome. Yes, Bob, the moon was vastly bright and gorgeous. I'll ask him why Parkinson and rainbows suck. Do it. I dare you. I bet you won't do it. I bet you won't do it. You don't have the cojones. Get it on camera, and then I'll believe you. I'm curious who it is, though. Matt says the meds also stained my tank silicone a neonish blue. That will go away over time. ICX kind of does the same thing, but it does go away after enough water changes. I've always had it go away. It doesn't go away quick, but it does go away. It's a rare double moon. Double. Is that why it's so big? It's because there's 2 of them? All right. All right. I'll eat crow if you do. If you do make that video. But I'll tell you one thing, Matt. Salt never stained anything. Rainbows, Rhinocentris ornatus Tiwa. Oh, you bought some of the Tiwa Creeks? I was looking at those. Does he still have some? It's actually a really good price. Like, wow, he only has 13 left. Look at this fish. If you've never seen these fish, look at these fish. I'll tell you right now, $12 is cheap for this fish. Granted, Rhinocentris are getting cheaper like every month because they are so easy to breed, but still. This is just a beautiful fish. Like, how could you not like this fish? And they stay small, like 3 inches. Got that long cylinder torpedo shape. This should have been fish of the week. What was I thinking? These are amazing. We're going to look at this until someone agrees with me. So you better agree with me like right now. Zach says, how you been, Bob? I have been excellent. Excellent. Oh, lady got it right there. Those are gorgeous fish. Okay. Now we can come back. Oops. Now we can come back and look at my ugly mug. Ha. That's what you get. Probably one of the best looking rainbows. I think Rhinocentris in general are one of the best looking rainbows. Like the collection point. There's some collection points that are pretty like, okay, that's cool. Kind of bland. But in general, I would say Rads are probably the best looking rainbow fish. Rocky Miles says, I have a piece of driftwood in my 5-gallon CBD tank. It gets a weird black fungus. I've rinsed it a couple times and it comes back. Should I be concerned? Eventually, it'll stop. If you had like autos or a pleco in there, it would eat them. Or it would eat that stuff. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's white. Sometimes it lasts a month, sometimes it lasts 3 months. But it will stop doing that. I need to get those fish. I agree, Carol. And the nice thing is they can go down to like 45 degrees. I don't know that I would take them to 45 degrees, but I would definitely start watching them under 50. But they're definitely a cooler water rainbow. No heater required. Rads are rads, duh. I mean, that's what I named when I did a video on Radinocentris, I called them radical rads. That's what they are. Also, don't forget that we are only going for an hour tonight. I probably should announce that at the beginning of the stream, but for those who made it through the first half hour, only an hour today. Me and the wife are super excited. We got our own little fry on the way. Awesome. What'd you get? That's good. Blue neon silicone ruins and aquascape. I agree. It's meds are definitely necessary, but my first go-to is always going to be salt. Dan says, just peeked out the window. Moon is huge in orange. Huge in orange. Get out your Nikon cameras with the 120 times zoom and get some shots of the surface of the moon. New local Austin, what's going on, buddy? Says, hey Bob, do you happy to be here? Hey Bob, do you happy to be here? Yes. If that's a question or a statement, I agree or yes. Work says the shrimp ate my wood fungus algae. Yeah, shrimp will do that too. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It's like what is the oh man, there's a type of wood that always happens. Like every time I get that fungus on it. Now I can't. I'm drawing a blank on what type of wood it is, but just woke up. It's only what, 7:30 where you are? Just woke up. Has anyone ordered from Aquarist across Canada? Has anyone ordered from Aquarist across Canada? I know Michael's Fish Room has shipped to Canada. I don't know if he still does, but I know he has. But I don't know how it's gone. I'm guessing okay. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Bob, did you get any of Aquaria Life's blue dream shrimp? No, they were so blue. I bought 3 bags of them. I got Shrimp Envy blue bolts. That's what I got. Aquaboss says I bought Aqua Balls. It says I bought 10 albino angelfish this week, and they are all super nice. Mopani, mine always does that. Mopani, yes, but it's not the spiderwood. That's what I'm thinking of, Whips World, spiderwood. I've had it happen on Mopani, but spiderwood, every time you get that white or black fungus on it. SC Catalhula says, yep, Whip, spiderwood. Every time. Like, I won't put spiderwood in one of my aquariums unless I have a bushy nose plecos. Bushy nose pleco. Love Pacific driftwood, but any driftwood is gorgeous to me. Paul he says, I normally use salt. I've had not much experience with meds myself. Danikin says, Blue Bolt ate my water and I'm too lazy to play with RO. Same. I've tried blue bolts twice before, and I've always killed them, but I have different water now, so I'm hoping maybe they'll do all right. We'll see. My red crystal shrimps are going crazy in my water, so I'm hopeful. I think the blue bolts will do well as well. Have I kept M. Doka white lips, African cichlid? No, I have not. I saw one, and I know I need one. I have kept Placidochromis before, but not the white lip. I think the let me check here. One second. I was trying to see which one I've kept before, but that was not the one. I do want to get back into African cichlids, but I currently do not have any. Do I prefer bushy nose or to chocolate pleco? I don't know what a chocolate pleco is. Do you have the L number to a chocolate pleco? But I can tell you the answer is probably always going to be bushy nose. Chocolate pleco fish. Is that just a bushy nose pleco? Chocolate rhino pleco? Oh, that's Arizona Aquatic Gardens. I wouldn't trust anything they do. Chocolate zebra pleco. I forgot about the L270. If you're talking about the chocolate zebra pleco, those are like two completely different plecos. Matt's Aquatic says, were you at Aquashella? No. It was so hard only being an hour away from Chicago and not being able to make it. Nope. I was at Fishtoberfest this last weekend. They were both on the same weekend. So, unfortunately, my doppelganger was not available. So, I did not go to both of them at the same time. Aquaballs, even dogs like it sprinkled on their food for a change of pace? What? If you have old fish food, don't throw it away. So many things eat food. I didn't know. You know what loves fish food? Roly-polies, isopods. Well, depending on the fish food. But if you have some high protein fish food, isopods will eat it up. Have I ever kept darters? No, I want rainbow darters really bad. I would love to get some rainbow darters with some rainbow shiners. That's like one of my dream tanks that I've never done. Rainbow darters, rainbow shiners. Someday. That's like one of my plans for my outdoor tubs is that combo. It'd be the perfect fish. I wouldn't have to bring them in the winter. They'll just live out there year round. Any advice on best setup or tank mates for some Odessa barbs? I'm getting shipped in from Greg Sage. Right now I have a plant of 20 tall to raise them in by themselves. Well, they may not like your plants. I found Odessa barbs to be hit or miss when it comes to plants. I had a group of them that just loved nipping at my plants. But then you can go on YouTube and see plenty of people that have Odessa barbs in planted tanks. So I don't know. Long term, you're definitely gonna probably want like a 4-foot tank for Odessa barbs. Not necessarily needed. That extra swimming space will bring out so much more behavior in Odessa barbs. It's pretty awesome. So that would be my advice. Just plan for a nice long tank if you have room for it. Bob, however memberships I get gifted, I'll get them back later. So get me 12 months gifted. Yeah. Live Feeding ASMR says, any freshwater expos in Los Angeles coming up? Not that I know of. I actually don't know of anything that goes on in California. Are there any? Like, there's lots of local clubs, and I think that's going to be your best bet. I can't think of any, like, there was, like, I heard there was a show, like, in Southern California this weekend, but it's nothing on the scale of, like, an Aquashella or even, like, a Fishtoberfest. But the one good thing about California is you have a bazillion clubs. You can go to Aquarium Co-op's website. We actually just used this in the last stream, so I still have it up here. And on their website, you can like type in your location, and it'll find if there's any clubs next to you. Here, I got the link. I still even have the link for you. There you go. Chris says, Odessa barbs are beautiful, but need space and do fine with plants. Yeah, whatever. I don't remember what plants I had them with, but whatever ones they were, it was so long ago. But they just nipped them and nipped them and nipped them. Danica Aquatics says, actually, the Sacramento Club is talking of having a Fishtober-like event soon down the road. Maybe we can get one up north too. I don't know. I would do like a swap meet. I don't want to do a show, like a full-on show. But I am thinking about doing like a local swap meet, which I think would be pretty cool. This doesn't have anything to do with anything, but what are you talking about earlier? Wait, let me read this again. This doesn't have anything to do with what you're talking about either, but have you seen Mark the Pond Guy's work? His son Dan legitimately builds OMG cool ponds. Let me Mark the Pond Guy. That does not sound familiar, but if he wants to come build me a pond, I wouldn't say no. Let's see. Is this like a someone who's on YouTube? Like, can I find him on YouTube? Let's see. Mark the Pond Guy. Oh, here we go right here. All right. I am going to subscribe based on what you said. And oh, is this from the other pond guy, Greg? I see Greg in one of these videos here. All right, I'll check it out tonight after the stream. Liquid Zoo says, I'm also working on something else cool to do for Bob. He just doesn't know about it yet. Okay. If you do sign me up for a table, yeah, so I'm going to, it's probably not going to be for a few more weeks because there's a lot of things I have to finish on my house before winter. But once that's done, I'm going to start I'm going to call around to some places and some convention rooms and see how much they are and how many tables, and because we used to, before COVID, so what, like 3 years ago, we would have like a biannual swap meet up here. So I could probably just try to figure out who put that on, and maybe get some advice from them. I've just missed a few messages. I did. I was looking at something. I was tabbed out. Matt says, Whips World, you did great at the cornhole in Aquashella. That is such a weird name for a game. Like, that means something totally different in like a different part of the universe. So that's such a weird name. No. Vibes Aquatics says, just dropping by to give y'all a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Steenfott Aquatics, can Zen tell people where they can get a badge if they want one? A badge. Zen Ginger can do anything she wants. Zen Ginger does not need permission. If she thinks it's appropriate, then she can do it. He's an ACA, but they're their own business. Okay. I mean, I already see a few ponds that I'm like, hey, that white sand beach pond seems pretty cool. I see Trout Stream. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Next year I want to do a pond, and I'm going to be probably in the spring be nerding out on a lot of pond videos. I definitely have enough water to where it's not going to run dry in the summer, which is nice. Like, I mean, my area gets flooded every winter. I have no shortage of water. Swap would be a cool piece of cake. You may know a guy that knows how to get the ball rolling on that one. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get like a hotel room, like, or not a hotel room, but like a hotel. I don't even know what those, like, convention, like, I want to do, there's got to be somewhere where you could just set up like 20 tables and that's it. Not some big showroom or something. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I have a lot of things to look into. Do a shallow pond. One thing I will never do is a shallow pond. Any advice on L46 zebra pleco breeding? I raised 5 of them to adulthood, and now I need tips on breeding them. Well, how long have you had them? And I'm sure they're adults, because zebra plecos take years to grow up. So I'm curious. Imagine a 10,000 gallon cube tank with only 1 pea puffer. I want the exact opposite. I want like 10,000 pea puffers in 1 tank. Rent out a Chuck E. Cheese for a swap. I mean, if their pizza didn't taste like dog food, I would totally do that. But they have like the worst pizza ever. 3 years? Okay, so you're getting close. You're getting close. Really, if you think they're ready to spawn, all you have to do is feed them a crap ton of food and do water changes. The hardest part about zebra plecos is not getting them to spawn, it's keeping the fry alive. So that's what you need to research, is keeping the fry alive. Can I put magnolia branches in your aquarium? I don't think I've ever tried it, so I can't say one way or the other. Hotel ballroom, I bet they're yeah, see, like a community center, that's what I need. YMCA, maybe. The YMCA here is freaking gigantic, so it's probably expensive. I'm just gonna do like set up your tables in the Walmart parking lot. All right. It's free. My thoughts on a glass box measuring 30 inches across, 12 inches front to back, and 24 inches tall. I'm not a huge fan of 12 inches front to back. It's very narrow, which makes aquascaping more of a challenge. But if you don't care about aquascaping, then really doesn't matter. But yeah, the like 55-gallon tanks, like just that 12 inches front to back, it's just not very fun. Zach says, I think magnolia is toxic. Well, if there's sap, then it's definitely toxic. But I'm not familiar enough with magnolia wood to know. A firehouse hall. See, that's good. Local fire station hall for local auctions. There. Now that's a good idea. Have your channel name and info integrated into a card for sharing and promoting. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, I'll have to look at that later. Don't everyone go click that and leave the stream. You got 15 more minutes to hang out. Then you can click that and go leave. Might check into renting a spot at local flea markets for one day. Anywhere with power or water. That's it. Could do it at like a school, maybe. I don't know. Amber Hart, that is a great question. I have not heard. Anyone know if Aquashella going to be back in Orlando in February? Maybe if Corey still is here, he might have heard something. You know what? I'll just message him directly right now. Unless he chimes in first. But he's probably not still here. I feel like if anyone knows where to get some tang, it would be him. All right, if he answers me before the end of the stream, I'll let you know. There is a Grange Hall on 67th and Marysville. I'd want to go further south. Like, as much as I hate going south, I think like Linwood, maybe Everett. But I don't want to go too far south because there's already the Seattle Aquarium Society. They already got their hold. And I definitely don't want to go to Seattle. So I'm definitely going to go north of Seattle. I just don't know how north. Aquashella website still says coming soon, so I'm no help. The Aquashella website is never any help. Like, that is the most unupdated website in the world. They never keep it up to date. I got 10 Clown Killies, 8 Chopre Danios, and 4 CPDs, like at $1 a piece. That is awesome. That is really awesome. All cool fish. Looks like my Petco had a super great sale on fish food. Just bought myself a couple packages of frozen bloodworms and a big bag of Aquarium bottom feeder pellets for $15. They also have the 50% off Aquarium tanks still going. You can come just a little south, and then a little north, and then just east to Indiana. I don't think I would go to Bellingham. That's too far north. I feel like if I do Everett, which if you don't, none of you know where Everett is, but that's about 30 minutes north of Seattle, then I feel like all the people down there, not all of them, but enough of them would come up like 30 minutes north. If I go all the way up to Bellingham, which is over an hour north, then people are probably like, I'll just stay home. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just do it in my backyard and have a barbecue. And we can have like a coyote hunting. We can hunt coyotes too. Zach says Eric Bodrox helps with our auctions. Really cool dude. Yeah, he is a really cool dude. I've bought fish from him before, and we've talked a couple times. I agree. I would love to see his fish room one day. Magnolia is safe. So we've got one saying not safe and one saying it is safe. Let's get a going. This is gonna be completely unscientific. Eric Wyrock says, how's the air quality, Bob? It's just fine. I saw a map that was just red with fire alerts in the Pacific Northwest. It's fine for me. Like, I can look up into the mountains and see the haze of smoke. But I'm close enough to the water and on top of a hill, so I get all kinds of wind coming off the coast, and it all goes to the mountains. So I get that fresh sea air over here. We are at 71% yes. Now, these people could just be guessing. So like I said, this is not scientific at all. They had Venezuelans at the auctions too, and I couldn't believe they went for barely over $1 as well. Honestly, there's a lot of people breeding. If you're talking about Doras, like, there's a lot of people breeding Venezuelan Cories right now. So that honestly doesn't surprise me. Carmel's Creation says, I come over from the peninsula, nothing like that over here. I'm barbecue and hunting. Happy for that. Yeah, the coyotes don't come around much anymore now that my dogs are out there, but they're definitely a ton of them though. If you're a dog lover, you would have a much harder time than you would think shooting your second coyote. Yeah, I'm just joking. I've got no reason to shoot coyotes. My dogs keep them away. They don't harm my birds, so. I should have known Bob is easy breezy. I'm breezy. I'm breezy. Have I ever kept Oscars? No. But where did I just see a really cool looking Oscar? A wild caught. I saw a really cool wild caught Oscar. Corey had his wild caught Oscars that looked really, really cool. If I was to ever keep Oscars, which I never will, it would be the wild caught ones. Okay. Aquashella has not announced any dates at all yet, so Florida is still up in the air. Hey Bob, I went to a catfish convention this weekend in Virginia, CatCon, and was talking to a guy that kind of specializes in Cories. He said he could maybe get a hold of the CW111 and they'd be around $600. I mean, that's their going price, believe it or not. I do know of someone who is trying to get that much for CW111s. They are insanely rare here in the US for some reason. Like in Europe, you can get them. Still somewhat rare, but you can get them. But here, stupid expensive. You're addicted to buying UNS tanks? All right. Denikin Aquatics says, we loved our wild Oscars. We loved our wild Oscars. We loved our wild-caught Oscars in Hawaii. Jeez. I don't know why I butchered that one so much. Dang, okay, thanks for asking about Aquashella. I mean, as soon as I know, you'll know, Amber. Well, I mean, at least close to when I know. And I'm just hoping they move it to somewhere else. Like, they should move it to whatever town just got the most damage in Hurricane Ian. Like, because that's probably going to be really cheap to go there. What's the warmest temp people have had luck with worms? I bought a culture and didn't realize they needed it cool. I got some Daphnia. Well, it depends on the type of worms. I got some Daphnia too and didn't realize how much work. So just feeding them for now. Daphnia can definitely be a lot of work. Daphnia is one of those things that, like, it's kind of easy when you first get them, but the larger your culture gets, the harder it becomes to keep them alive. And a lot of people crash their cultures. All right, what's the final tally here? 67% yes. Ooh, that's a gamble. I feel like that's a gamble. Where's the Fishtoberfest video? There's a lot of them online. I did not make one. Had a green Oscar years ago called a common Oscar. Haven't seen one since. I got some really cool Vietnamese white clouds at CatCon. I have seen the Vietnamese white clouds that you speak of, and they are really cool. I hope I can get some for my white cloud collection. Someday. But your first class fish, to answer your question, the best thing you could do is keep your worms in like a closet or anywhere that's gonna stay cool. Yeah. You already know, but you definitely don't want to keep them warm. Oh boy. Same with like vinegar eels. They like it cool. In my opinion, vinegar eel probably one of the easiest and best live foods to culture. Like they're so easy. If you want to get into live foods, do vinegar eels. Bunny Viper Aquatics says you have to keep those Daphnia cultures divided for sure. Used to feed. So there used to be a breeder that lived right next to me who did it in a 55-gallon garbage can. He's the only person that I've known to be able to pull it off in such a large culture, which was crazy. But yeah, I've never seen anyone else have success in a large culture like that. And you know, unless you're doing it like outside or something, but then it's gonna eventually crash. I want to open up a fish shop with about 30 20-gallon tanks. I want to sell bread and butter fish. Still thinking if it's big enough. Depends on your market. White worms. A lot of people keep white worms like in the fridge of all places. So I don't know what. Man. Me, I would probably keep mine like in the garage or something, somewhere cool. But I still want to open up my own fish shop too. I don't want to have it open to the public, if that makes any sense at all. But I do want to. Stocked up on frozen worms and brine shrimp, and fridge stopped working. Oh, that's the worst. Also had feeder frozen rodents. Frozen feeder rodents. Found it days later. Was a smelly, expensive mess. Wow. That sounds miserable. I know what them clams smell like when they thaw out and warm up in a vehicle, and it's not pretty. I couldn't imagine all of that. I'm sure that just smelled terrific. Ugh. Dan says, dry magnolia leaves are tank safe and often used for tannins in black water tanks. Yeah, so we know the leaves are, but what about the wood? We're at 65% of our audience here said it was safe. I wouldn't do it. 9 out of 10 fail, or it seems. Well, see, I would be starting out as failed because I wouldn't open it to the public. I just want like 1,000 square feet. Maybe open it once a day and you know, just have my own little fish room. And I don't know. I'm exaggerating. I'd probably be open like 5 days a week. I don't know. I used to be a taxidermist and lost an entire full-size freezer that failed for 4 days before discovery. Ooh, that sounds bad too. Bob, just get a fish store to have his... Yeah, I just want my fish store so I can have brick and mortar and get my wholesale accounts. That's pretty much it. And then I would just sell everything online and not tell them. Oh, man. Also, Whips World, not to be mean, but like 9 out of 10 people that open fish stores have no business being in retail anyways. So it's hobbyists that are like, hey, let's open a fish store, and they don't know anything about business. Not that I'm some business guru, but I've spent about 12-15 years in retail, so not a complete noob. I dream about opening a small fish shop selling L46 zebras, pea puffers, and Congo tetras. There you go. You know, you have your niche. Zebra plecos, pea puffers, and Congo tetras. That's all we sell here. Oh man. Online stores becoming popular. Well, it's so easy. Zen says, I think that's all retail. People get ideas that they can sell stuff on eBay. They can run a retail. It's not the same. I think it's kind of... sure, that's probably across all hobbies, but I think it's more so in our hobby. And the other thing I think people do is they open up stores and then sell what fish they like instead of what fish sells. Like if I opened up a fish shop and only sold rainbow fish, of course I'm going to go out of business. And I think that's what a lot of people do. And I think a lot of fish shops try to compete with Amazon, which is not going to ever work. So the other mistake I see a lot of fish shops make is that they never post on social media, like ever. It's free advertising, and yet a lot of these mom and pop stores are on social media. Like, why are you not on social media? It's free advertising. I don't know. Is it a good idea to work at a chain store as an aquarium manager? If you ever want to open your own fish shop, then yes, that is a good idea. You'll really learn a lot about the industry if you take that position. Growing up, there was an old fish lady who sold guppies out of her garage. Goals. You could easily sell guppies out of your garage. Do it right now, Amy. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And just think, if we go into like a full-blown recession or depression, you're going to be able to get a retail space for really cheap. Really cheap. Then you open a fish store. And you do like a 10-year lease when everything is crashing. What did Corey say? Whatever you think it's going to cost, triple it. Yes. Exactly. And that goes to the same, like, building my own house right now. Like, I had a cost in mind, and I was like, okay, this is the cost. I know it's going to be at least double that, and really it's like triple or quadruple what I thought it was going to be. So it would be the same thing in a fish store. Steenfott Aquatics, my cousin used to work at Petco in Santa Barbara. He helped raise the Petco tank of top 15 in the Petco Aquarium department to the top 15 in the USA. There you go. Okay, to go help a friend move. Thanks for the stream. See you later, Ginger. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Regina says, I love my LFS. They have saltwater, freshwater, and pond. The owner builds and maintains koi ponds. See, I also think that's actually a mistake. I would, if I opened a shop, I would not mix saltwater and fresh water. I don't think that's ever a good idea. And I'm not saying, obviously, you know, your buddy there or your LFS can pull it off, but I think that's a mistake a lot of people make, is doing fresh and saltwater. And it's hard to be an expert at both. I'm going to open a fish store and give dime bags with each purchase. What? All right. Okay, that sounds like a pretty large expense, but if that's your strategy, give it a shot. Bye, Ginger. Sorry, you have to help someone move. It's the worst. I will never help anyone move, so don't ask me. Well, there's a few people I would help, but don't ever ask, because I won't help. I'll say this: all the saltwater shops stay open longer than the freshwater shops in my area. Well, it depends on where you are. Like Florida, California, the saltwater shops are going to do really well there. Saltwater shops up here always fail, always. So you definitely need to know your demographic, your location. My friend did salt, tank cichlids, and reptiles, went out of business, and she was great. See that? Yeah, you can't spread yourself that thin. That's too much. Unless you're one of the older fish stores here in PDX, the freshwater stores only last 3 years. I bet you'd help Danny. She is one of 2 people that I would help, because she was one of 2 people that helped me move. So you are correct. Be broke in a day. I agree. Luca says freshwater planted tanks are hard to beat. I agree. I would take a freshwater planted tank over a saltwater tank any day of the week. Any day of the week. But anyways, it is that time. Like I said, we can only go for an hour today, so we're going to cut this stream off early. Hopefully, but no guarantee that we'll be back to regular hour stream next week. We'll just have to see how much stuff I get done. So until then, thanks everyone for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it. Thanks for the super chats, the comments, the lurkers, the mods. I appreciate you all. Our life is going on 60 years now, ran by, our LFS is going on 60 years, now ran by its original owner's kids. They are doing great. Yeah, there's absolutely no reason. Anyways, no need to start ranting again. I'll just say thanks. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you all here next week, same time. Right? Right.